Hey, Star Wars fans.
Hey,
Hope you're doing
everybody.
well. I'm just going to go straight into it. I've got JC2224 here, also known as Adam. How's it going?
The man, the myth, the legend. That is me. Thank you for boosting my ego by letting me be on this. I appreciate it.
No,
How
it's
you
all good,
doing,
man.
my man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I hope everyone else is having a great week or has had a great week and is enjoying their weekend. Yeah, it's a different time now. Like, it's weird for me because I've only just started working Saturdays like last week, and it didn't even feel like a Saturday to me. So it's kind of a weird feeling. I haven't worked weekends for like 10 years, so it's kind of a weird concept and jumping back into it. But it's cool. It means I can still sort of come home and do this, and it's not a big deal. So I'm pretty pumped. So yeah, it's been wanting to get you on for a long time, but yeah, just glad it's finally worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. So I'm waking up at 7:30 in the morning to do it. But you know what, dude? I am determined. I've been wanting to be on one of these for ages.
7:30 in the morning is not a bad time,
Man.
And like, if you're a child of the night, if you're a moon dweller.
I have been waking up at noon this past week. At noon.
That's rough. That must be rough.
So I did go to bed early for this. I did. I normally go to bed at like 3 in the morning, and I went to bed at 1 in the morning. So that's progress.
Well, I appreciate the dedication to make sure you jump on. That's awesome.
Believe me, man. I am determined.
Already got a few folks in the chat here, which is cool. Red Leader 1, he was waiting half an hour ago.
Well, what's up, man? Malcolm? Man, he's an OG. What's up?
He is. Hey, that's my own comment I posted in there.
Oh, Force with Jesse was in there. That's good.
Yeah.
Hello, Chief Chirper.
Fellow Australian. H Green 1313. I'm well, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well.
He didn't ask me though.
Rocking that Mando gear. This is the way. Yeah, man. I'm all decked out. I'm threaded out. Thanks to Zing, the great people at Zing. I literally walked into their store to have a look, and I walked out with a hoodie and a beanie. Man,
there's so much Mando merch. Even where I work. Where I work is like an old people store, right? It's an old people store. Even we have Mando merch. It's crazy. It's everywhere.
It should be more. There should be more of it.
Man, it's already. I think Mando has more merch than even like the sequel trilogy movies did.
It's not really that hard though, especially with Rise of Skywalker, which that was basically nothing. Like, it was almost nothing.
Dude, it's crazy how they just because I like that movie. I like Rise of Skywalker. It's crazy how they treated it, man.
Yeah, it's almost like let's just get it over and done with now. Like, in terms of the merchandising, it was like, we'll put out a few characters and, then we're just going to let it go. It's done. It was kind of like, come on, guys. Like, at least put half an effort in, because it just wasn't anything at all.
Because at least Lego did all the Knights of Ren. Like, Lego did it.
Yeah, did they end up doing all of them?
Yeah, I think so. I think Lego got them all.
Yeah, I sort of bailed on Lego recently, like halfway through, and I think I got 2 or 3 of the Knights of Ren.
Man, I get one.
I would like to complete that little crew though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure their Bricklink prices are a little outrageous though.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it. I get 1 or 2 sets. I did get the Mandalorian set, the one with the speeder bike. I got that months ago, and I still haven't built it because I've been waiting to do it on a live stream.
Oh, nice.
And I've just not had the time to do that. But it looks cool. It's got, the speeder and little Grogu, and then it even has like the slingshot that the Tuskens used against the Great Dragon.
It's a pretty cool little set. It's one of those that it's like it could have come with like one more minifigure.
It could have, but I think Lego knew that it would. They're like, okay, it's $30. We could include another figure, but it's going to sell at $30 anyway. That's like the Found Your First Battle Pack. Oh my goodness, that was a cash grab. That was 100% a cash grab.
Yeah,
because they're like, let's add another vehicle and a couple battle droids and charge double the price because people are going to buy. They're going to buy just as many anyway. It's like they knew. They knew, man. I mean, it's a good business though. That's how you do it.
Oh yeah, they're making it work for them. Even if I've jumped ship, it doesn't mean they're going under. So
yeah,
Hasbro will continue getting my money. So
Hasbro gets plenty of my money with Transformers. with Star Wars, they get a little bit. Both Transformers, oh my goodness, they're gonna run me dry.
I'm just going to highlight a few more folks that are here in the chat. Thanks for everyone joining in. Red Quo, Matthew Martin. Red Quo, Is it going to be a clone chat? I have no doubt we'll get to there. I really want to have a discussion about like insurance in space, but I might save that for another time. Because, the taxation of trade routes, like everyone is bored crapless out of that. But I want to go one step more boring and talk about like insurance policies in a galaxy far, far away.
Man, we really need to talk about the economic state of the Star Wars galaxy. That's really important.
Jedi Master 98, things are good. Yeah, my internet's just sort of playing up again.
Yeah, I was so worried. It's like you said, things are good, and then I thought it crashed.
Oh,
it's like things aren't good anymore.
I really don't need internet problems tonight. It happened a couple of weeks ago, and it was just chaos.
Oh, no. Reminds me of a Battlefront live stream I did. It froze, and I didn't even know it froze.
Oh, I bet my wife's just like... My wife's probably just got on Amazon or something, like on Netflix or Amazon, that's just going, oh, I need bandwidth. And it's going, okay, now it's leveled out.
Oh, no.
But I think we're fine. Darth Paul, greetings from Perth. Kerry, hey, Jesse, hope you'll be saving for the toy and comic fair on Monday. I haven't. I'm not sure that I'm going to go to this one. I really, really want to, but I don't know that I will. Depends what I'm doing. I might be able to make it work. But also, Kerry, I wanted to point out I've put a Space Wolf t-shirt up on my Redbubble store. I made a Space Wolf t-shirt, and it is amazing. Chief Chirper just added you on IG, JC22, the extra 2, so he obviously would have found that.
Oh, thanks, my man. I think I'm almost to like 2,000 followers. That's exciting.
Nice. This is welcome to Down Under.
Yeah, I only have to wake up super early to keep in line with Australian time. It's the Darth Prime! Oh my gosh.
He is in the house. He's another one that doesn't like getting up in the morning. He is a moon dweller.
Dude, what can I say? Us Adams don't want to get up early. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it must be. Must be an Adam thing. Hey, Aaron. Hello there. Up too early on a Saturday morning for my once-a-month work weekend. I'll be watching at my desk later. Awesome. Hey, Linda. Ed5, what's going on? Callan Lad Jr. I am highly envious of people like JC2224 who can like The Rise of Skywalker. Can I have some of that magic dust, please?
Man, I can acknowledge that it's like not as deep or as thought-provoking or as good as a lot of the other movies, but it's fun. It's fun, and I like watching it.
It's like it's just a good like popcorn movie, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's not really. Yeah, I love it. Like, I really do, but it's not. Yeah, it's not heavy. It's not really that deep. I don't know. I say that, but then I watch it and I get emotionally invested and I cry. So it's. But yeah, I sort of understand why people can't really get into it that much.
I mean, Ben Solo carried the trilogy, and like he's like his arc and all that in Rise of Skywalker is the main reason I keep. I've only watched it twice though. I'm not much of a rewatcher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see. Every now and again, you post where it's like I've watched them. This is my 20th viewing, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh man, when it comes to like the cinemas, I just go stupid.
Yeah, I didn't rewatch Rise of Skywalker until maybe just a month ago. Until then, I hadn't seen it since 2019 in December.
Yeah, right. Wow. Chief Jeff is asking here, would you go fully comprehensive or third-party insurance? It's got to be full comprehensive, man. Like when there is lightsabers that can sever limbs and nothing has railing, you've got to go full comprehensive insurance. Nothing less.
Yeah, man, the lack of railing makes me really anxious. I just rewatched the Darth Maul scene where he's like rampaging and how he just like knocks all the clones off the railings. Like, man, I would never want to be stationed there. That's so like, where does it lead? Where do you go? Do you just fall into nothing, or is there just like a floor on the bottom?
Yeah, even in episode 1, at the end of the Duel of the Fates, there's like he has to wait for like 8 laser doors to get into that room, and then you get into the room and there's a big hole in the floor.
Yeah, like what was that room even for again? I don't remember.
Like, yeah, there's a hole in the ground. But you have to be really patient and wait to get through like 8 security doors before you get into a room that you shouldn't be in, but it doesn't have any railing. I don't know. It's weird. And like, you know, Kylo Ren stabbed his father on a railless boardwalk sort of thing. Like if there was railing, like the wound would have been cauterized inside of him immediately. Like he may have survived if he was able to like slump over a railing.
Yeah, the railings in the Battlefront 2 Death Star map, because it doesn't have any railings. I see the AI fall off of it all the time, and I love it because I play that game on a daily basis. I can tell you every nook and cranny about the weirdness of that game.
Yeah, even on the it's on the droid battleship. There's a room like when you're playing Supremacy. There's a big sort of engine room with deep chasms.
Oh, you're talking about the new one.
Yeah.
See, I'm an original gangster. I play the original one on PC.
Nice. That's the way.
I've played the EA one a couple times. It's good, but I don't
Battlefront. Yeah, Battlefront 2 is pretty great. Like,
yeah,
it had a rough start. Like it was rough. Oh, yeah. Like it wasn't good.
And but, especially like, didn't the Belgian government call it out for being gambling or something? I think so.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's EA, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah. Whenever I get a new console, I'll definitely get Battlefront 2, though, for sure. But for me, like, I play the old one on PC every day. And I absolutely love that game. I don't think I'll ever like the new one more than the old one.
That's cool. I respect that.
Especially with mods. Oh, my gosh. You can play as any clone legion on any map.
That's
cool. I live for that, dude.
That's what you want.
Exactly.
They're saying here, I'm hoping that Target Clone Wars figs will end up in mainline boxes. Those are going to be a challenge to find. Ooh. Yeah, especially being down here in a country that doesn't get exclusives like that to Targets. Like we might be lucky if so we've got a chain of stores down here, Zing Pop Culture, which is aligned with. They're basically a toy and merchandise side of EB Games, which is basically GameStop. So it's kind of like the merch side of GameStop sort of stuff that you have over there in the US. That's kind of that sort of thing. Like they've been getting a few of the exclusives. So hopefully these ones will get picked up by someone.
Yeah, hopefully, because
otherwise I'm gonna.
I do think they'll get mainline releases.
Be silly not to, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, every weird packaging variant like that always gets a mainline release. I can't really think of one that hasn't. But those figures, man, like I don't do the 6-inch. I mean, I do the clone 6-inch though, so those are really exciting. But man, seeing those boxes again, it really brought me back because I was there for that. What was it called? I wasn't there for Midnight Madness, but I was there the morning after. And that was back when they stocked enough where you didn't have to go to the Midnight Madness. You could go the morning after, and the pegs were still totally packed because they had hundreds and hundreds of figures. Like I went. You could
have gone back like 3 months later and still got your holographic first day of release General Grievous.
I know. I think the only thing I missed going the morning after was like because they also released that Tartakovsky realistic wave, right? They had like the Scuba Trooper and all that. I missed him. That was the only one I missed, and I didn't later on. But man, that was Those were really the good old days. Those were the golden years for Star Wars. And
for sure. Like, yeah, between 2000, I want to say 2000, I'd say even 2007, like with the 30th anniversary. Like, I'll go 2007 through to 2012. There's like 6 gold years there of Star Wars collecting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not one that likes to point the finger at Disney and say, Disney, it's your fault. You're the reason it sucks now. But there is a strong correlation between when Disney bought Star Wars and when Hasbro started doing their weird stuff. Like there is a correlation. So I'm not sure if that's why, if Disney wanted Hasbro to change their model, but if I mean, I just don't know why they can't do what they did back in like 2010. I just don't know.
Yeah, it bewilders me on a weekly basis. Every time I do a live stream, I end up just sort of dumbfounded by some of Hasbro's machinations. But Darth Prime saying here, I am no longer Adam, I am Aslan, and I sleep for 7 months straight. I must hibernate. Also, Jesse's internet cutting out can only mean one thing, invasion. It's actually Minox just outside chewing on the power cables.
Well, I mean, when you were cutting out, like your screen was waving and blobbing a lot. Like, oh man, you know that Chancellor Palpatine screenshot where it's like he's waving.
Yeah, he's like,
and he looks all distorted. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, he looks like he's twerking or something.
Yeah, it's male body standards. That's the ideal male body.
The Death Star would have made insurance policies go through the roof. Certainly would. There was nothing going on there. Like, you got to, like, the Death Star laser, like, beaming straight past you. There's going to be some, like, radiation poisoning there or something.
Yeah, because that is just... And, like, you can also easily fall into that, too. How many people just fall into that? But then again, do you think the Empire really cares? If someone dies, we'll just be like, oh, well. You know, we'll be like, oh well, we don't really need insurance. We got enough money. We'll just take care of it ourselves.
They'd be instantly disintegrated too.
Oh yeah, there wouldn't even be a body. They'd just be like, I guess he just decided to quit, so we'll just mark him as absent.
MIA. Seen The Force Awakens about 15 times at the cinema. Nice work so far. Yeah, you know it's going to come out again. Collecting Unleashed, how's it going?
Oh, hey, man.
It's like standing over the line on the train platform. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's people that like to think jumping over the railway line to get from like one platform to the other on the other side of the train track. It's people that think that's funny. Aaron says, I mean, Adam and Daisy were magic together. I could have just watched them fight everyone. That is true.
Yeah, they really did have, especially in Last Jedi, because I'm one of those people that's not the biggest fan of The Last Jedi. I love the Kylo and the Rey and the Luke stuff. I just like the Resistance stuff and the gambling place, Canto Bight. I just don't. I'm just not there for it. It's
the Canto Bight stuff is definitely the weakest part of the movie, but I love it. Like, but yeah, if I was to pick a moment out of the movie I didn't like, it would be sort of the casino stuff.
Yeah, and just I feel like the Resistance stuff. It almost feels like an episode of a show that's kind of just filler, where it's like, yeah, we gotta escape. Oh man, we're struggling to escape. Yay, we escaped. Like that, it just feels like a filler episode. The Resistance stuff, and like, meanwhile, the Rey and Kylo stuff is just like uber special and really good. It just contrasts so much to me because I mean, it's still good. I still think it's a good movie. It's not like I see all these people like, oh, it's the worst movie ever made. Like, how is it that bad? But I like so many people. It's like you either love it or you hate it, and I'm like one of the only people. It's like it's good. It's not the worst. It's not the best.
You can meet it in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I'll love something if I don't love it. Like I won't hate it because I don't know. I just find hating something, putting that much energy into it, like hating something is just it's just bad energy.
Yeah, like the fifth Transformers movie is hot garbage, but I don't go around the internet being like, "This movie was horrible," blah blah blah. They should have changed the plot and blah. It's like, dude, it's a Transformers movie. It sucks.
Yeah.
Move on with your life.
My favorite thing is like people's comments that are just like, "Oh, it's a dumpster fire." It's like, "Oh, explain why." Just like it's just trash. I'm like, yeah, it's not overly well thought out, but
They did things I didn't like that they did. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you didn't like it. Did it work? like with the Luke stuff. I wasn't when I first heard that he was all kind of like, I don't like the Jedi anymore. I was kind of like, oh man, that sucks. Then I watched it and I was like, oh man, that works. It works. But people, it's the internet. People are gonna hate what they hate.
Yeah. And saying, imagine the auto insurance on a speeder bike, not worth getting collision because there's not going to be much left when you have an accident. Yeah, you'd almost have to stipulate in your insurance policy that you're not going to go like flying it through a forest or anything with, like trees or slight variations in terrain.
Well, I mean, when your vehicle blows up by pressing a button on the back of it, I mean, it's going to have some pretty high insurance.
Yeah. Carla Schreiber, greetings from Mexico. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. A question, if the Ahsoka of The Mandalorian came out in Hot Toys, will be in Black Series. I have no doubt that it will be.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Hot Toys is really stepping up the game and Hasbro's kind of falling behind. Hot Toys has Ahsoka. They've got the Dark Trooper. They got Bo-Katan, even though Black Series got that. I feel like, they got the Death Watch Mandalorian too.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Hot Toys is really stepping it up.
Yeah, I guess the difference is that we'll probably be waiting like another 2 years or 18 months or something for those figures, whereas I don't know, I'd like to think Hasbro can probably get an Ahsoka out by the end of the year.
Hopefully. I'd like to see one in TVC, but we're getting the Clone Wars TVC ones, so I can accept that. I'll grab that and I'll hold on tightly. Because I wasn't much of an Ahsoka fan before Season 7, but Season 7 happened and she's cool. She's great.
Yeah.
Man, I'm in trouble though. I got 5 Hot Toys on pre-order.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, including the Dark Trooper. I had to get that Dark Trooper.
Yeah, it looks so good. Yeah. What other ones have you got pre-ordered?
The Shore Trooper Squad Leader, because I love Shore Troopers. And I really debated this back and forth because I got the Commander Cody. I used it for my picture for this because I love that thing. I decided to go in on the clones. I got Rex and the 501st and the Shock Trooper on pre-order because I figured I would regret it if I didn't get those. And I got the extra income this year. I've got the funds for it. So you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, why not? If you've got a little bit of extra play money, you might as well play with it. And buy sweet, sweet toys.
Yeah, even though the Dark Trooper doesn't come out until like halfway through 2022. So that's going to be a wait.
That'll be before we know it, though.
Honestly, you're right. Like, it's already 4 months in 2021. Can't believe it.
Yeah, like it's May next week.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Like, I'm already done with my school semester. I've got 3.5 months of summer break to relax. Like, awesome. That's exciting.
Damn, that's good. So Matt Martin here is asking any news on who might be getting the Merrick and X-Wing here in Australia. Nothing that I'm aware of yet. I'd stay tuned to places like Zing Pop Culture and Bulletproof Villain. They're probably the main ones that will probably grab it, hopefully. But yeah, I don't even think it's whether that was has that got an outlet in the US? Do you know?
I really love that thing. I don't know if I'll get it because I'm not too big on the Rebels, but I'm not sure how it's going to be released in the US. I'm instantly going on Hasbro Pulse to see if it's on there. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I'm gonna look into that. Oh man, Hasbro Pulse is, it's a resource, but man, like they sell out of their own pre-orders on their own stuff that they produce super fast. It's ridiculous. No, it's not on Pulse. I don't know how that's getting released.
Yeah, right. We'll find out soon, but I'm sure. Aaron's saying here, I'm sure the Mando Ahsoka will be made into Black Series very soon. They know what sells. They just don't know how to get rid of exclusives. Couldn't say it any better myself.
Yeah, and they know what sells. They don't want. They don't make enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing the exclusive thing so heavily. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like Hasbro just used to put toys on shelves, and we used to be able to walk in and buy them when we wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like
there was a little bit of. It wasn't always like, oh, you could walk in and grab any figure. It was like you might have to go and visit 2 or 3 stores, but generally, if you went out for a toy run, you'd be able to find what you were after in that day.
Yeah, one thing that I cannot fathom is Transformers versus Star Wars. They're both run by Hasbro. Hasbro, I know it's a different division, but they're both Hasbro. Transformers, I find almost every single thing in stores. And I don't go to stores much. They just stock them that well. There's one or two things, 1 or 2 waves I may never see, but it's always available online. Their exclusives are easier to get. I don't worry about Transformers coming out because I know I'll get it. I will find it. I will see it. Like, they make it so stress-free. There was a wave that never got out, and Hasbro released a statement saying, "Oh, sorry, it didn't get out, guys. We'll re-release it." And they did. That never happens with Star Wars.
No. Ever. I guess Transformers is a Hasbro-made property, though. Like, Hasbro created Transformers, whereas Star Wars is, mired in licensing fees and, an approval process for every single item that gets put out. So,
but
I kind of see like the added expense, but at the same time, if they're making enough product, like, they should be making that money back.
Yeah, I just don't understand how Transformers shelves are always fully stocked, but the Star Wars right next to it is totally empty, and it's the same company. Yeah. I just don't get that.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like, they should, despite what they're putting out, they should just be able to fill shelves. Like,
because I was talking with my brother yesterday, and he said there's not even peg warmers anymore. There's not. Everything's gone. There's nothing on the shelf. I mean, we do have a peg warmer in the U.S. currently. Surprisingly, it's Jar Jar Binks. Like, people aren't rushing to buy a Jar Jar figure for $30 U.S. Like, for the U.S., that's $30 for a Jar Jar. Oh my! I've seen
some people getting on clearance for $7.
Yeah, because they sent out the amount that they should send out for everything else, but because I can't believe they gave Jar Jar his own SKU number. He has his own retail number. Jar Jar Binks.
Like
the Mandalorian.
They could have sent out cases of 6 figures. They could have had 2 Jar Jars, 4 Boba Fett's in those like 2 deluxe boxes that recently came out.
Yeah.
And that would have balanced it out a little bit. You probably could have even gone 1 and 5, like 1 Jar Jar, 5 Bobas, and you still would have moved everything.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I really don't. Like, one thing, G.I. Joe 2 is another thing that Hasbro just cannot manage. And they don't even have the excuse of licensing fees because Hasbro owns G.I. Joe 2. They did a new case with 2 new characters, Lady J and Flint. And the case was 1 of each of them and 4 Cobra Commanders that had already come out in the previous wave. Like, what? I don't understand their logic. I just don't.
Yeah, it's strange. Here's a nice little comment for you from Only One Kenobi. He says, nice to see you on JCC2224. Always considered you the best on YouTube for figures through the ages. Vids still are most likely.
Oh, thank you.
Still are, most likely.
Here,
didn't say that right.
Let me take that comment, put it in a syringe, and just inject it and boost my ego. Oh, thanks. Seriously though, thanks. I like your videos too, Only One Kenobi. You've got one of the best Obi-Wan impersonations I've probably seen.
Yeah, you know what I love about Only One Kenobi? Like, he's passionate about his toys. He's chilled out. He's relaxed. He's just having a good time with it. And that's the best. That's the best thing ever.
I love his display too. I love
it. Nothing just like chilling out and hearing him talk about action figures. I mean, that's what I love doing myself. Like, I love this is what I do on Saturday night. I just jump on and talk about action figures mostly. Yeah, it's the vibe. I dig it a lot. Hey, Matt Mando, what's going on, dude? Appreciate you tuning in as always. Everyone's sort of saying just hello there. Darth Rock, what's going on, dude?
Hello there.
You know what's really helps your insurance? Spinning. That's a good trick. Canada Bite was an important part of the sequel trilogy in highlighting the injustice and abuse that is rife throughout the galaxy. You're right. That was sort of the main sort of point of highlighting that something that like a casino is just mired in. I can't think of the right words off the top of my head, but it's all like, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's all just bad juju throughout the thing. I've been up for a really long time and I can't think of words right now. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's a good setting. It would be an interesting place to explore, but it feels like one of those places where you would see it in the Clone Wars or like an episode of Rebels. Like, it just seems like an episode thing. It doesn't seem like this is important enough to show and take screen time out of.
Yeah, like, they needed like just a hammerhead walking past as well, or a Rhodian.
I know, everything feels so disconnected because there's no background.
And getting Joseph Gordon-Levitt to do like a thick South American accent, like Southern American accent, like he's like, oh, there goes the shuttle, Parkers. It was like, come on.
Yeah,
like, just do a cool alien language and put subtitles on the screen like they did for Jabba. Like, yeah, I don't know. That sort of one little bit that sort of took me out is, no, don't get me wrong. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, great actor, but getting him to do a voice like that for a character, it's felt a little out of place.
Let me tell you, I did not know that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the movie until this very moment.
Oh, you learned something. Look, it's like 8 a.m. for you, and you're already learning things.
I know, it's such a special experience. Wow.
See what happens when you get up early. You get to learn things.
You.
Only One Kenobi in the house, ready to vac metal all your droids. This is the way. This is Hey Chief Chirper, vac metal revival is on. Make it happen. I'm good, thanks, Darth Rock. How are you, mate? Really doing well. I'm doing fantastically. 3 days off now, you beauty. I'm excited. Can't wait to just chill out for a few days.
Oh, it's Target exclusive.
Target exclusive for X-Wing. Thank you.
That's great.
Usual Mike, always coming through with the news.
Well, hey, it might go on clearance right away if it's Target exclusive. Because, man, they what was it that the Dagobah 3-pack for TVC went on clearance right away. And I just got this. They have a Transformers X-Men crossover. It's like $65 in the US, Target exclusive. Immediately went on clearance for half price.
Oh wow.
I don't get it. I bought it. Heck yeah, I bought it.
Nice. The best part of Hot Toys is at least the figure availability is based off their pre-order, so as long as you order it, you know you're going to get it.
Exactly. And you get it pretty fast too.
Yeah.
You don't really have to wait. I mean, unless I know there's like outlets from Hong Kong, or if you order from
I've never bought a Hot Toy like directly from Sideshow, so it's kind of like I've always bought it from a retailer in between. Like there's a big one with Pop. They're probably the main go-to for a lot of Australians with getting Hot Toys.
Yeah, I've ordered a few off of Sideshow now.
No. The exclusive thing is virtually killing the 3.75 line. Basically, yeah, it feels like at the moment. There are excuses that these figures wouldn't happen if they weren't exclusives. Yeah, definitely call BS on that. My guess is their distribution deal with certain retailers has to include a certain amount of exclusives. I'm sure there are a few deals like that. Like, they've always done exclusives, but never this many. Like, I worked it out maybe 2 years ago, and it was like 40% of the figures that came out in Black Series were exclusives in 2019, I think. It was stupid. Like, that's nearly half.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with that. Because even Gundam model kits are the same thing. They release more exclusive model kits to the premium Bandai site than they do actual retail. I do not understand.
Yeah,
I just don't understand the business model for that.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, because I remember back in the good old days, like 2010. I mean, there's maybe like one exclusive a year per store, right? One, maybe two. But it wasn't really anything that was like super crucial for the collection. It was just like a cool bonus thing. Like, oh, here's Captain Locke, that obscure clone from the Clone Wars. Here's Commander Pons, here's all that.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Like, if you walk in, you got to go to a special store to get that particular figure, and that's fine. Like, once every 6 months or something. But at the moment, it's just like, here's a full wave going exclusive to Target, and another one where, the other weird one is the the carbonized ones they did back in for Triple Force Friday, and they had like one exclusive to Best Buy, one exclusive to Walmart, one exclusive to GameStop. It's like you have to visit all these shops to get the whole set. It's like, I just want to walk into a store and buy the things. Like,
or at least be able to like pre-order them from home without having to worry about it.
Yeah. Gary says, saw Zuvio on pegs again, still at full price, 6 years and counting.
No.
That's so good. Man. How come they could have just put the dude in Rise of Skywalker? Lucasfilm could have just said, tap JJ on the shoulder and said, look, this character you had in Force Awakens got cut. A figure got made of him, so we need you to just pop him in the movie somewhere.
I'm surprised they didn't put him in The Mandalorian or something. There's a guy that looks a lot like him.
Yeah, he's got a mask on instead.
Yeah, I think it looks like, because Zuvio had like his fellow buddies. I think his buds had the masks. I think they.
You're right. Yeah. Because there were like behind the scenes images from Force Awakens that showed that. It was like, it looked like, I remember the photo. It looked like Zuvio was taking a selfie with his cronies.
Yeah. I mean, he looked cool. Zuvio was a pretty cool character design. I mean, he did have a potato sack costume. But his alien design
wasn't even a bad figure either. It wasn't a terrible figure. It was pretty well detailed.
Yeah, it's just,
again, put him in the Mandalorian, put him on the Mandalorian, chuck him in a new box with the Mandalorian, and just be like, yeah.
No, don't chuck him in a new box. Just let people buy the old one, because there's that one up on the market.
Yeah, make that an exclusive.
Yeah, maybe chuck it in a new box if somehow the old one goes up to like, twice the original retail price. Currently it's half the retail price, so like no one cares about it right now. I know I got rid of mine ages ago.
Collecting Unleashed says, I recently rewatched The Last Jedi, and it does have its flaws / weak points, but so does every movie. A few flaws do not make an entire movie bad. Haters going to hate. That's just the way it is. I still like it. Can't agree with you more there.
Like, there's some movies that I love, but there are flaws where I'm just like, it's like, I don't love it, but
I went and saw Mortal Kombat last night, and I had an absolute blast with the thing. Like it, and I was looking at went looking through comment sections of a local cinema to see what other people were saying about it, and they're like, "Oh, I really couldn't get invested into the story." And I was like, "That's not why you go and watch a Mortal Kombat movie. You don't." You go and watch Mortal Kombat movie to watch someone's head getting cut in half.
Yeah, one of my friends said it was good. I haven't seen it yet.
It was, it's really cool. It's really cool. But if you walk in there hoping for a nice, deep, thoughtful story, you're not going to get it. But you don't go and see a Mortal Kombat movie based on a fighting game for deep storytelling.
I'm kind of surprised in Mortal Kombat even the games kind of has a story, because I played the first two growing up, and it was basically just like there's a fighting tournament, you have to fight up the ladder. There you go.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, what's the story? I collect the Sub-Zero figures, but I don't really know the story. I know there's like the whole like Ling Kuei, all this Ninja Clan stuff. It's like I don't care about that. It's whatever.
Just want to watch cool fights.
Exactly.
I just went and bought Mortal Kombat 11 for PS4 the other day, so I'm looking forward to playing that over the weekend.
Ooh.
I just got in the mood I haven't had a fighting game for years, and I'm just like, I was getting all sort of hyped up for Mortal Kombat. You know, it's a pretty big deal here because it was literally filmed here in Adelaide. Like, majority of it was filmed here in Adelaide. So it's, you know, it was a $50 million budget. It was, you know, a local film, basically. One of the main stars is an Australian actor called Josh Lawson, who absolutely nailed it. Like, he played Kano, and he was just hilarious and fantastic, and he is my spirit animal now. But yeah, it's a good movie, and I went and saw it because I'm like, I want to support local industry, so it's worked out well. So I really hope they can do a sequel.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely watch it. It's on HBO Max, and I've got that. So definitely.
Oh, sweet. Sithlord229, what's going on, dude?
Oh, hey man, what's up?
Off to bed. Just wanted to stop in. Have a good one, Darth Rock. I know it's pretty damn late for you over there in the land of New Zealand.
Good night, Darth Rock. I can tuck you in if you want me to.
Hey, Jedi Trek, what's going on? Salacious Rum is in the house. Salacious Rum and the Monkey Lizard Army sending everyone good juju space banana vibes. That's all we can ask for in a day from Salacious Rum. Salacious Rum.
I'm kind of worried now that there's a Monkey Lizard Army, actually. I'd rather there not be an army of them.
I've got to ask Salacious Rum if you're still here watching. Is there because in Resistance there was a Kowakian monkey ape. Do you have any Kowakian monkey ape friends? Or is that like the Lord of the Monkey Lizards? Kowakian ape lizard? I said Kowakian monkey ape. Ape lizard? I can't even remember what it's called. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I haven't watched Resistance yet.
I watched the first season. I didn't get onto the second one yet. That's like a one day.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. Red Leader 1. Hey, Jesse, I'll be doing a live stream after your stream tonight. I'll be talking about Star Wars vehicle collecting. Awesome. I'll chuck it on.
I'd chuck on, but I'm going to go back to bed after this.
That's fair. Yeah, there we go. Mortal Kombat was filmed in Adelaide. Good morning, G-Force. What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. Collecting Unleashed, go to thefallennight.com and watch Clark Zuckerberg, fan editor of Last Jedi, and see the film that Ryan Johnson could and should have made. You made more than what's there. Red Leader 1, subscribe. We'll be watching later. Sounds cool. Awesome. Caught up with the comments.
We're caught up.
I love it when that happens.
Oh, yeah, man. I haven't done a live stream in ages. I know the feeling, though.
Yeah, just sometimes you find myself getting so far behind, and I just got an email alert telling me that I'm live. Really? It's been 45 minutes.
You just got... Oh, my goodness.
That's Australian internet for you. It's like, we'll let you know, but later on.
Yeah, the U.S. internet isn't much better, especially if you're living out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I live in the city, so it's not bad. But, oh, man. My brother, where he lives, he can't get like really good internet because he's just like a few hundred feet away from where they can offer service.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because he's like out like on this back road and all that, and the big company won't go back there. So he has to like pay a super high price from this crappy company because that's all he's got.
Let's just buy an extension cable.
Yeah, just run it like hundreds of feet. That works. I'll tell him to do that.
Yeah, that's going to be a cheaper option. I needed to bring up with Ed5 while I know he's here in the chat. Because he messaged me yesterday about catching up on Monday, and I said I'd be at work, but I'm not actually going to be at work on Monday. So yeah, that's that kind of didn't work. So I didn't even think. I completely forgot that Monday was a public holiday and said I was going to be there. So, but I'm not. But I'll be there on Wednesday.
What holiday is it?
It's Anzac Day.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
That's the Australian New Zealand Army Corps. To be honest, not really a fan of fan edits. I'm kind of the same. I like seeing more so like seeing the sort of the motivations behind why people did it, but I don't necessarily like watching them. The ones that aside from the despecialized editions, like I love watching them every now and then.
Yeah, I was going to mention those. Those are kind of a gift.
Yeah, I forked out and bought them on Blu-ray like a year or two ago, and yeah, it's just I don't watch them all the time, but it's cool to sort of go back and revisit their sort of original versions, and they're just really nice and clean.
Yeah, I'm hoping eventually they'll actually officially release those.
It's kind of like the fact that they've actually just acknowledged that there is a little bit of a holiday special that exists, as well as the Ewok movies and the Tartakovsky series, which Lucasfilm has been pretending hasn't existed for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they put all that on Disney Plus. I still need to watch all that Ewok stuff. I've been wanting to watch that for years. There's that one really weird character from one of the movies. Isn't his name like Teek Teek, something like that? That really creepy guy.
Little Ewok on speed.
Yeah, they did a figure of him, and I always wanted it because it looks so horrific.
Yeah, the figure came in like a Star Tours pack or something.
Oh yeah.
It was bizarre. Steve saying, so pumped for Mortal Kombat. I have to wait another month till cinemas open here in the UK. Was hoping it'd stream instead. Just get on the illegal downloads.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not streaming in the UK because it's streaming in the US. Man, I miss going to the movies though. I do think Rise of Skywalker is the last movie I've seen in theaters. It's been that long.
It's probably is for me too, to be honest. I feel like I went once or twice last year, but I literally think that was to go and see A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back when they were sort of showing movies, just to sort of get bums in seats again, like as lockdowns were starting to sort of slow down a little bit.
Yeah, every time I drive past the movie theater, I just kind of sigh because I miss it.
I'd love to see Hasbro release 6-inch Revenge of the Sith figures with the card back.
Man, oh man, I'm like, I don't do the 6-inch. I don't do the 6-inch. I was like, I have not. I did get bit by the bug when it came out, but I unbit myself. I took the venom out of my blood. But that would be so tempting, man.
I just want them to bring back like 3 3/4 inch the Shadows of the Dark Side packaging from 2010.
Yes. Like they just need to do that again. They just need to do like the Saga Legends, the good Saga Legends they did for that.
They were good Saga Legends figures. They were really good Saga Legends figures.
Yeah, each new wave had like clones you could just army build.
Yeah.
In. It's like, oh, you want more 501st? You want more regulars? Want more phase ones? Here you go.
That was when Malcolm, Red Leader 1, he got like every single shock trooper, 501st trooper he ever saw. I think he ended up with like 50 or 100 or something of each, or something ridiculous. I remember seeing his army. He's like, it's like, damn, that is a lot of figures, but it's so cool.
Yeah, I wish I had individual armies that big.
Are you going away for 3 days? No, I'm not. I'm just doing a day trip tomorrow out to Gawler, up north, and then probably just chill it out for a couple of days at home. But I'll hopefully get down to the toy fair on Monday. I might just have to talk to the wife about seeing if we've got a little bit extra cash that can maybe go and have a look at some collectibles.
One thing I do have to ask about Australia, because in the US, Australia has like this reputation for having the most horrific animals, like these really massive spiders, things like that. Is that a common thing? Like, do you have to deal with that every day?
I'd love to say yes, but no, not really.
Okay. Because like these pictures float around of like, this is this crazy animal from Australia, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going
Yeah,
there.
it's not that bad, but we do have some dangerous crap. Like we have some snakes and some spiders that are pretty damn bad. And like kangaroos like to hop out onto the freeways, like, and end up, but that's no different to like deer over there.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of deer over here.
Like that's probably the equivalent of deer. Like the kangaroos like jumping in front of cars and just getting smacked by a truck, like, and just ending up being roadkill. That's probably no different to any other country that has animals that sort of just run rogue around the highways and stuff.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, there are some. Not necessarily. Oh, there are some. I've seen one brown snake, which I believe is one of the most top poisonous snakes in the world.
Oh, that's fun.
Eastern brown snake. I've seen one out when I was like a kid, and me and my friends were like, we were down at this creek and we were trying to find like just bits to make like a cubby house to sort of hang out in. Like we'd always just make like little army bases and hide. And we went to find this. We found this sheet of iron that we lifted up, and there was this snake under it. So we kind of just dropped it and ran for our lives.
Ooh.
And we didn't go back there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we don't have snakes around where I am. Where my brother is, there's plenty of snakes, but
yeah,
we're pretty tame where I live. I mean, we have raccoons. We've got some. Every now and again, there's like a fox or a coyote.
Yeah,
but it's pretty tame. Every now and again, you'll see a big old beetle or a praying mantis. So I love praying mantises.
Yeah, I think, they're cool.
But overall, it's pretty tame in the U.S. We have stink bugs, though. Do you have stink bugs?
Yeah, we do have stink bugs.
Oh.
There's not many of them, but
yeah, because I live in Cincinnati. It's right by the Cincinnati River, and it was a big trade route, and
right.
You know, all this stuff coming in from China for going through the river, and then China brought in all the stink bugs, and now they're everywhere. We have so many stink bugs in Cincinnati. They're the worst. No. They're just the worst, and especially with cats, because cats want to chase them, and then you go to pet your cat, and your pet smells like stink bug because they're playing with stink bugs.
Yeah, we don't have them like that. Like we just occasionally you come across one, and it's like you accidentally step on it or you kick it or something, and it's just like, yeah, there's the smell.
Yeah, we have stink bugs more than we have house flies. That's how bad it is.
I know my wife wishes that we had squirrels down here or chipmunks. What's the difference between a squirrel and a chipmunk? There's no difference, is there? The same thing.
It's a slight difference. It's like the difference between like an AT. It's like the difference between like an AT-AT and then like the AT-AT with the orange on it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like it's basically something like that. I don't think chipmunks. Yeah, I don't think chipmunks have like the big old tail. I'm gonna look up a picture. What does a chipmunk look like? Chipmunk, because we have plenty of squirrels, but every once in a while we'll see a chipmunk. A chipmunk's got like the stripe on the back, and they don't have as big of a tail. It's basically
right. Okay.
Yeah, we got plenty of squirrels, and then 1,000 different kinds of birds. We have geese all the time because we're kind of close to Canada. We have tons of Canadian geese.
Goose country.
Yeah. Yeah, where I work, we've got a pond in the parking lot. It's not intentional. Mm-hmm. It's just where the parking lot has sunken down. There's always a pond there, and the geese are always there. It's horrible.
Do you get bin chickens?
We do not know. What's a bin chicken? I'm gonna look that up. What's a bin chicken?
It's a bird. It's an ibis.
That's cool. That's cool looking.
I took a photo of one the other day because someone was driving down my street. And they must have gone to pick up pizza. So they had a pizza box on the roof of their car. This is just what I assumed happened. Like they must have gone to pick up pizza and they forgot to put it in the car. So they've driven off. The pizza box has slidden off the roof of the car. And my wife went to work the other morning and there was an open pizza box and there was just a pizza just scattered all over the road. And then when I went to leave for work, there was a bin chicken like eating off the road. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, wow.
They're renowned for like hanging around dumpsters. So that's where they get the name bin chickens.
Yeah, those are really cool looking. Yeah, we've got ravens and we've got I would say the raccoons probably take care of stuff like that. I remember when we were catching stray cats and helping them out. We caught probably more raccoons than we caught cats.
Oh, wow.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, we don't have raccoons here, thankfully, because
they're so like they're menaces, but they're also really adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something about them. Yeah, it's just crazy how different wildlife is. Like you look at Star Wars, and like I almost feel like with all the animal variety in Star Wars, it still doesn't even compare to like a fourth.
No way.
Just what Earth has.
Yeah, not even
Earth
close.
Alone. Like, and sometimes it's like I see a new animal in Star Wars, and I'm like, oh man, all these new Star Wars animals, they keep making more, and I'm like, well, I mean, look at how many animals Earth has.
Yeah.
Like, how many? They've got like thousands of different birds.
It's like you got Tatooine and you have banthas, but surely there's like somewhere on the southern hemisphere, there's like the southern hairless bantha or something like that, and it's just, and then you have like a two-legged dewback somewhere that jumps in front of cars.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of. I like how there are some varieties like that, like Nemoidians and Duros. How they're kind of
that's cool. Yeah,
and then there's like a hammerhead, like a cousin of the hammerhead species, Athorians, that have like a mouth. I think.
Yeah,
that was in the
that was
trilogy.
in. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that guy. Yeah, I can't think what it was called, but yeah, it was like almost a hammerhead, but it's sort of like semi-evolved, humanized sort of thing.
Yeah, and then there's like the walrus man species, and then there's the ones with like tons of eyes.
Yeah, there's like almost more of a spider.
Yeah,
spider head. It's like
it's so interesting.
Yeah.
See, I'm happy they did do some carryovers like that in the sequels, but we were touching on it a little earlier, kind of briefly. It's one of those. It's like one of the biggest like disconnects of the sequel trilogy. You look in the background and it's not familiar. It's all new stuff. So you don't have like any, reference point of familiarity in the setting. Like they almost revisit. They don't really revisit any planets from the original trilogy or the prequels. There's like one or two they revisit, I think.
It wouldn't have taken much to put like a squid head in Maz's castle in Force Awakens. Just that visual cue that's like, yeah, we are in this same galaxy. I mean, Mandalorian's doing it really well. Like they've gone back and they're using a lot of the OT sort of species, like your squid heads. They've used heaps of squid heads. They've used some Mon Calamari. They've used
the long snoot species, Garndans.
Yeah, but they've also sort of chucked some of the new sequel aliens sort of. And that's just more so out of the fact that they just have access to the costumes.
Yeah,
probably. So they're like, oh, we'll fill a scene. We'll put this guy in a costume that was from Solo or something. So you're kind of getting that, but I wish they sort of did a little bit more of that with the sequels. But gotta wonder whether there's still some weird like license usage that George had in the contract. That's like, yeah, it's like, all right, I'll sell you Star Wars, but I'd like you to come up with some new stuff, sort of thing. I don't know. I doubt it, but.
Or maybe they were just thinking like, we'll make up our own stuff, like we won't, even though the Force Awakens will basically copy A New Hope, because I mean they did, and it was a good way to kind of relaunch the franchise after being dead for 10 years. Like I have no problem with how they basically cloned A New Hope for Force Awakens, but it's funny how they did that. But there's other things that they don't want to carry over.
Yeah.
They carried over like all the vehicles though, X-Wings and TIE fighters and Star Destroyers and all that. Those are all the same. But even Stormtroopers, they didn't even change Well, they did, but they didn't,
Yeah, they look like what Stormtrooper armor should look like 30 years on, basically.
Yeah, I love First Order Stormtroopers. I love them.
It's like picking up an iPhone 4 and then an iPhone 12. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit cleaner and better, but it's effectively looks the same thing.
Yeah, you've got like a really big army of like the 6-inch ones, right? The First Order Stormtroopers.
Yeah, I reckon I've got 14 Stormtroopers,
Ooh.
8. I've got 20 Sith Troopers, 22 Sith Troopers.
22 Sith Troopers?
Yeah, someone bought them.
Gosh.
Someone actually bought them. It was me.
Dang. I've got a couple of the TVC one, but I love Sith Troopers too. I was like hoping they would be clones. I guess this is where we should talk about clones, because we were someone asked if we should. I expected the Sith Troopers to be clones because they kind of teased clones in The Force Awakens, where Kylo Ren was like, why don't we just have a clone army? And then they're like, it's better to have the recruited people, blah, blah, blah. But like, especially with how the helmet design looks like clone troopers, it's like, where would the Sith Empire, or whatever it's called, the Final Order, like, where would they get all these troops if they weren't cloned, you know? Maybe they are clones and they just didn't explain it.
There's a lot of story beat shortcuts they sort of took in Rise of Skywalker, like that, you know, could have explained things. Just it wouldn't have taken long at all to have like just the shortest little lines of dialogue just to sort of fill in those sort of little pockets of information that I feel like slip through the cracks.
You know, I think that's one thing that people have an issue with the sequels, is they don't do all that exposition. They just do the action, the story. Here we go. But the prequel trilogy spent so much time on explaining and on the exposition. Like the prequel trilogy really built themselves on that. And that's why the prequel trilogy, like, they're not bad movies. I enjoy them a lot. That's why they're not revered as the best movies, but they're so deep with the lore because they spend so much time making sure everything's consistent, explaining everything. It's great. Like the clone, they spent so long explaining the clones. Like they just walked down hallways and kept explaining them, and like it was good. It was a good time to understand this part of the lore. Yeah,
there's a lot in the prequels that it was a lot of like getting into the mentality of the characters as well.
Yeah,
whereas the sort of skimmed past a fair bit of that in the sequel trilogy. Like it was like George probably went maybe a little too far in some parts with the sort of the mentality of the characters, and you know, sort of slowed up the story a little bit. But you know, a good thing is like going and reading Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Stover. Like that book just paints Revenge of the Sith in an entirely new light. Like it's reading that book and then going back and watching Revenge of the Sith is just absolutely an amazing experience.
Yeah, I might check that out one day. I remember a Sith Lord, when Sith Lord 229 was on the show, he said, I don't really have time for reading much, when he said he doesn't really read. But see, I could make the time, but I just don't like reading. I just don't like reading. I don't think I've ever really read a book outside of school.
It's like I could probably cut back on my Instagram scrolling for like an hour a day and read a book instead, but...
For me, it's YouTube. I watch so much YouTube nonsense.
Yeah,
like absolute nonsense that I don't need to watch that. And I rewatch.
Fall down rabbit holes, YouTube rabbit holes.
Yeah, man, I really fall for those. Like one of the ones I fell the worst for was To Catch a Predator, all that Chris Hansen stuff. Oh, yeah, man. Right. I rewatched that. I don't know why. It's just it's so fascinating. It's such a rabbit hole.
That's cool. I do like the average rabbit hole every now and then.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to skim through some of these comments again.
Oh yeah.
Just to catch up again. So 1,000 Ghosts, he's just popped in. Thank you very much for tuning in. One of the members of my channel. I really appreciate the support. The Ewok stuff and old Clone Wars series is not available on Disney Plus here in Belgium. So still sort of lagging behind with some spots. Like I believe in the US you get sort of all the behind the scenes sort of documentaries attached to like the prequel trilogy and stuff, whereas we don't get that down here. But
well, Collecting Unleashed, the answer to your problem is a VPN. Today's sponsor is blah blah VPN. Blah blah VPN.
ZipRecruiter.com.
NordVPN. Oh my goodness.
Good morning, Clayton. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I have to watch the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier and do a toy hunt. One of my 200th giveaway. Catch peg warmers full day ahead. You get a busy one. I got to catch up with peg warmers because I wasn't able to be there myself, even though I'm meant to be one of the peg warmers. But being that I work Saturdays now, I can't do it anymore. So hopefully get on a chat with those folks again soon. Kowakian ape lizards are the muscle in Kowak. Us monkey lizards are the brains. I see. That makes complete sense.
I mean, if the monkey lizards are the brains, then Salacious Crumb himself must not have been one of the smart ones.
Woke Lord 229.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
What are your thoughts on season 3 of The Mandalorian? Will Bo-Katan and Mando go head to head for the throne of Mandalore? I don't know. I feel like that's like inevitable, but it's almost like it's too obvious that that's what's going to happen. I feel like there's going to be a little bit more at play there.
Yeah, I don't think it's just going to be like, you have the thing. Yeah, I do. Oh, I'll have to fight you. Okay. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it'll be something more interesting and complex.
Yeah, I think so too. Sith Lord 229 saying, "I've no objection to the Canto Bite stuff if it had led somewhere. What's a shame is that JJ didn't capitalize on some of those points brought up in The Last Jedi, such as the weapon suppliers." That's a good point because, you know, all of a sudden the Resistance have like basically rebuilt their sort of, it's not much of an army, but they've sort of, within 12 months, they've sort of pulled back together a reasonable force of people. Yeah,
so it kind of makes them like going down to nothing at the end of The Last Jedi, pointless.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, there were some of those Resistance leaders were going to have to go and speak to some of these sort of shady weapons dealers from Canto Bite and stuff to try and get some stuff back again. And it's, yeah, we could go down a real deep rabbit hole there, but I don't know. I can definitely see the detachments between each of the films having different directors. Like, I think what Ryan did with Last Jedi is he just continued with what he was given. Whereas, you know, JJ set up a pretty tight... What he did with Force Awakens is he set up not a lot of room to move. And I think Ryan took it in that direction, and then JJ sort of just almost continued with The Force Awakens for Rise of Skywalker. In a way. I don't know. It's weird, and...
Yeah, because there's not too much with... Like, honestly, it's one of those things where you probably could just skip The Last Jedi and you're not missing out on much.
Yeah, but then you've just got, like, oh, well, who's Rose Tico? And it's like, well, it doesn't matter because JJ didn't really put her in the movie anyway.
Yeah. And the only thing you'd wonder is, like, why is Luke already dead? It's like she just found Luke and now he's already dead. What?
She's like, here, have this lightsaber, and she holds it up, and the next time you see it, he like walks out of a fire and catches it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's dead. Like, what happened there?
Yeah, it should have been way more connected than it was.
Yeah, I mean, you could say there are similar detachments with the original trilogy, with like, you know, the whole Luke Leia brother sister thing. I mean, it works for us now because we've had like, well, not but pub audiences in general have had like 40 years to sort of grow to get used to it. Whereas when you're watching it, like, you know, they didn't really think of this through when they did Empire Strikes Back and made Leia give him a big old smooch, because, yeah, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, I think that's one of the few things that George Lucas didn't really think ahead. I know he had that planned from fairly early on, but yeah, I think he had like so many ideas swirling around his head. It was almost like
I've got so many different outcomes and different plot threads to sort of use for the story, like Darth Vader and Anakin being two completely different people at one point. Like, and it just happens that most of that merged. And yeah, it's so many ideas. It was just like I need to pick and choose, but it was all coming from his brain, so that kind of helps.
Oh yeah, since it was all coming from one person, it kept it consistent enough.
Matt Mando says here, in the UK, you're more likely to be killed by an action figure than an animal.
I mean, here in the US, you're more likely to get killed from a gender reveal party than by a shark attack. So, and that is an actual fact, by the way. That's where these gender reveal parties have come to.
Or I was going to say a mass shooting, but that's going down another rabbit hole, and it's neither surprising or shocking anymore. We see it on the news, and it's just like, another one. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to go there because
the state of the world, man. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go there with that. It's just weird as an outsider to think that that's how things just continue to be.
Yeah.
No 100% haters of Last Jedi. I don't, because I've seen the FallenKnight.com version, which is undownloaded the version we'd get if someone had said to Rian Johnson no. Hey, Clayton, I had a brown snake in my laundry this summer.
Oh my goodness,
that's nasty.
Did you like throw out all the clothes? Because you should have just burn all.
Yeah, I would have burnt the house down. Yeah. The other day, a fly flew into me, so pretty dangerous here. I nearly fell off my bike. We live in constant danger.
I feel like the Darth Prime is the closest thing to a real life Mr. Bean that I think humanity will ever reach.
I really hope he drives like a Mini.
Honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised. The Darth Prime is something else.
So Darth Prime, next in your video, we need a Mr. Bean impression.
Yes,
please. Just make
please
the world. It'll make the world a better place. Hope everyone is having a great weekend thus far. I also live close to Canada.
Yeah, I haven't been up to Canada yet. I want to someday. I will 100% have to go to a Toys R Us though. 100%. You guys lost it too, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just Canada. Canada's one of the few that kept it.
Yeah, and I think some countries in Asia, like Singapore, still has Toys R Us as well.
Yeah, they did reopen like a couple like really boutique locations in the US, but it's not like how it was. It's really like
they'd be like independently owned sort of thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like whoever bought Toys R Us just opened up like one or two locations that are like super fancy dancy. Like the Lego thing it almost feels more like a display that just so happens to have things you can buy. Yeah,
right. Okay. Yeah, it's a tragedy. We have a couple of cats and a little salacious Pilly Yum Yum, and the other monkey lizards ride them around the house. We are investigating cat saddles. Maybe Motu Battle Cat style.
Oh my goodness!
I actually just found out what a Motu Battle Cat is because there's one up on a shelf at work.
Oh yeah, did you not really know what
Battle Cat?
Did you not know what Motu meant before that?
I did, yeah, but I've never seen the show. I never grew up on it, so it's.
Yeah, me neither. But it's so iconic to like toy history. I've gotten a few of the origin stuff. There's a guy, Scareglow. He is so glow in the dark. It is amazing. I mean, there's not a lot of glow in the dark Star Wars toys, is there? It's really not.
No.
I'm trying to think of any. Are there any glow in the dark Star Wars toys? I don't think I have any. I'm gonna look.
There should be. Who would you do? Shadow Stormtroopers, like those new ones that are coming out in the TVC gaming greats.
Oh yeah, they could do those. They could have done lightsabers glow in the dark, dude.
They could
have done that for years. Oh, they've done some ghosts. I think there's been some glow in the dark ghosts. Maybe I don't know from Hasbro. I know Funko Pop. It looks like.
Yeah, right. I'm just looking at my like figure wall here, and I'm trying to decide which would be a cool one to be glow in the dark.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, the Force Ghost would work. I don't think Hasbro's done a glow in the dark Force Ghost. It looks like Funko Pop's done plenty of glow in the dark Force Ghosts.
Yeah.
Then again, they'll do, everything in any color just to sell it.
Yeah, that's true. I can't think of any character that would work in glow in the dark, except like if it was going to be like carbonized stormtrooper or something. It's like, oh, we probably shouldn't give Hasbro any ideas in case they're watching, because they're going to be like, oh, we're going to do a glow in the dark collection now, exclusive to this hot dog stand in New York somewhere.
I'm surprised they haven't done glow in the dark lightsabers though. I know glow in the dark's usually green, so they'd have to just limit that to probably like a Luke or Yoda or somebody. But I feel like they could do that.
I remember when I was a kid, you ever have those, like, you'd ever get like a packet of glow in the dark stars and you stick them all over the ceiling of your bedroom?
Oh yeah, of course.
No, I had red ones, so they can do red glow in the dark.
Oh, you did have red ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they could do them in red. I mean, maybe it's more expensive.
I don't think,
maybe it's one of those things they just don't do anymore.
They didn't glow for as long as the yellow green ones, so maybe they just weren't super effective. But I definitely had red ones.
Yeah, maybe they just did like clear red paint over it. Maybe that's what they did.
Yeah,
because I know like
the ibis is one scary looking bird in the flesh. I see them every day. Every time I take a dog for a walk, like we've got a little park down the road. There's a little.
Oh,
that's the bin chicken.
Yeah, bin chicken. Oh, they come in red too. Oh my goodness.
We've got possums though, noisy buggers. Yeah, we always get them. We've got 2 big palm trees in our backyard. And they always get up. Possums always get up there. Our possums are kind of cute though, whereas your possums in America are they look like giant rats.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures of possums a while ago, and I was like, the Australian ones are so cute.
When we were over in Anaheim back in 2019, we were staying at a hotel just across the road from Disneyland, and we were walking to the like room buildings where all the hotel rooms were from the like main lobby sort of area, and this like gigantic, like it was the size of like a small dog. It looked like a rat, and it just like ran from one garden bed to another and like scuttled into the bushes. And I had to ask someone like, what the freaking hell was that? And they're like, oh, it's a possum. I'm like, that's a giant rat.
Yeah, our possums are big. They are like the size of cats.
I think they're technically called like opossums or something, but yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Do your Australian possums play dead? Do yours do that?
I don't think so.
Because
they sort of just sleep. They sleep in trees all day and they come out at night.
Yeah, because ours actually do play dead. Like if you get it, like they will do that. There's one that played dead under my mom's car and didn't realize that it was just a game and actually died under my mom's car.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was just playing dead under there, and then it just died. So that was fun. Then there's another that played dead under our deck and also forgot it was playing and died.
So they're not the smartest.
No, they're not, and they're pretty ugly too. They're not like raccoons. They're not cute.
Daniel Chart says bin chickens over here in the UK we call them scousers. Scousers almost sounds like a word for like scabby bin chicken, so it works. With the Jar Jar the Black series, I feel like we're that much closer to young Anakin with Pod Racer 6-inch. Yes, please. Yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't. They should have done way more Phantom Menace stuff for 2019. They really should have.
Yeah, the prequels was one voice, the sequels were by committee. I'd say the only. I agree with that. Like the prequels was one voice, but I feel like also George sort of surrounded himself by a lot of yes men, so there wasn't a lot of going off of what George really wanted to do. Like it was all just George, which I don't care. I love it. Like it is what it is. But
I love the was it the Phantom Menace where there's that clip where he's like, I may have gone too far in a few places. I love that.
I'm with JCC on what he said. Mention of clones in The Last Jedi and Sith Troopers would have been great if there had been connection between the 3 films and Sith Troopers were clones. Given that the helmets sort of had that sort of similar T visor included, like, yeah, kind of that could have would have made sense.
a part of me, like before the trilogy ended, like everyone was speculating where it would go. I always had a feeling that they would feel compelled to bring Boba Fett back, and they would bring him back, and they'd be like, "Hey, Boba, we're gonna clone you now." Like I had a feeling they do something weird like that. I'm happy they didn't, honestly, but I had a feeling they were gonna try to interject Boba Fett in there somehow. I had a feeling.
Yeah. Still need to get my first Sith Trooper.
Yeah, I've got the toy box too, the Disney toy box one. That's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
That's a really cool line. I wish they made a little more. It's so weird though. They're all based off of the Disney Infinity game.
Yeah.
But they made a Stormtrooper recently that wasn't based off of the Disney Infinity game, and it looks out of place. Yeah, I would have gotten it, but it looks nothing like the game. So I'm like, oh well, I guess I won't.
Yeah, so I've sort of stopped with those Disney Infinity figures only because we can't get them down here, and the only time I bought them was when I was over in America, so it was kind of like, I'll just have to give up on them because they're just too hard to get. So
yeah, even in the US, they're tough. Like the Mandalorian, he's pretty hard to get.
Yeah. Ridley one says, I hope to see clones in Kenobi series, mainly Cody.
I feel like that might happen. I feel like it might.
They've got Ted Morrison on the books now. Like it's it kind of makes sense. If anything, through flashbacks. Yeah,
maybe because Darth Maul we already did the thing where Darth Maul found Obi-Wan on Tatooine. It's like I don't know if they'd want to do it where it's like, oh, Commander Cody found Obi-Wan on Tatooine because he's been hunting for him ever since he failed Order 66. Like, I don't know if they do that. They could, but I doubt it.
G'day, Bill. How's it going? Going to try and find Boba and Grogu TVC today in a hunt. Well, all the best. I wish you luck with that.
Good luck.
It's a great set. I hope you track it down.
I found Grief Karga and the Bespin Escape Leia, but I did not find those two.
Nice. I just got the Bespin Leia. I still need to get Grief and the Child.
Yeah, I got to wait for my pre-orders on those to come in for the Boba and Grogu.
Chip and Dale are chipmunks. Chip and Dale are the best chipmunks.
How about Alvin and the Chipmunks? Those ones are pretty good and not annoying whatsoever.
Yeah. Abyss. Where am I? I've just scrolled past. Hang on. I'm catching up again. Star Wars has space horses. That's true. There are plenty of deadly animals in the US. Depends on where you live.
Yeah, I think I live in a pretty tame area. Because I live, in Cincinnati. I don't think there's a lot of deadly animals.
What area is that classed as? What sort of area is that? That's sort of mid-north?
It is
or is it like Midwest?
See, they technically they say I'm in the Midwest because the East, because when the United States was colonized, like the East was basically just the eastern shoreline in all those states. That was the East. Everything from there they considered the West.
Right. Okay.
When everyone we're moving west. So technically I'm in the Midwest, but in the actual position of the shape of America, it's like the Northeast.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, one thing you'd expect for me living in Cincinnati that there'd be a lot more like Kenner stuff. There's a lot of Kenner prototypes that end up in like the toy stores in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But I know a comic shop guy. Do you remember that one show that was out called like Toy Hunter or something like that?
Yeah, I remember him.
The first episode was in Cincinnati, and he went to my comic shop, and my comic shop guy had a rocket firing Boba Fett prototype.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, he had gotten it from like trading like some baseball cards or whatever back in the day, and like that was cool. But you don't really find a lot of Kenner. Like you find some Kenner toys and all that, like you do everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like there's as much as you'd expect. Maybe I missed out on that. Maybe since, I wasn't really around for when Kenner shut down and people were rummaging through dumpsters and all that.
Yeah. I think even the popularity of it today is like, people are just picking it up because it's like, oh, I recognize that as Star Wars, and I'll put it online to sell. So
we've got a really amazing mural though of all the Kenner toys and properties in Cincinnati.
Awesome.
And we had a Star Wars exhibit with all the costumes at one point too in the Cincinnati Museum, which was
wicked.
The Cincinnati Museum was the building that they based the Hall of Justice off of. So that's super cool.
Oh, cool. Nice.
It literally looks like the Hall of Justice. It's awesome.
That's cool.
Because it was in Cincinnati, they had a specific area too dedicated to the toys, and they had all the vintage toys on display. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That would have
been heaven. That would have been like, yeah,
it was so cool to see that.
Boss Bounty is here. How's it going, Dan? Appreciate you stopping by. Ed5 says, we have a jellyfish here as big as your thumbnail that if it tags, you'd be lucky to make it back to the shore. Yeah, we have the box jellyfish, blue-ringed octopus. They're nasty stuff in the water. G'day, Bosk. Bosk is in the house. Clicking on these. The problem with a lot of backlash on the sequels is that will influence the figures we get now for TVC. There are only a few Rise of Skywalker figures and a lot of main characters are still missing. Last Jedi Rey. I agree. I feel like in need of I'm not. I could start a list and just not stop. So
of all the stuff that Hasbro should make and would have made if they, still did it how they did it back in like 2010.
Yeah. Red Qual got magpies. I'm gonna swoop you. Yeah, magpies can be nasty during mating season. So during the spring, we have magpies and they swoop and they will literally hit your skull with their beak.
Oh my! We've got something called blue jays. They're really pretty, but they're pretty similar in aggressiveness. Oh, we're about to get cicadas. They are they come out every 17 years. I remember when I was a kid when they came out. And they're about to come out again, and they're these insects that will absolutely infest the entire city.
Wow.
It's a matter of time, but it's kind of exciting.
So that's what we hear about Australia, the sheer number of things that are deadly and far more than anywhere else in the world. A lot of them are in the ocean, just as I was saying. Mando, I thought of the Scouser joke, but I didn't say it. Good luck toy hunting. Toy box stuff is really cool, well priced too. Got a fair few of them for my son. They're good kids figures, but they're also good adult.
Like the TIE Fighter. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. It's got a handle on the back of it where I did a review of it, I think. Did I? I think I posted that. Yeah, because I'm going to be posting videos again here soon.
Awesome.
I reviewed the TIE Fighter. It's got a handle on the back, and it spins when you press the trigger. It's so great.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one's just saying here, pardon me, he meant the mention of clones in TFA, not The Last Jedi. Yeah, because that would have been cool. He sort of says maybe Snoke should, consider using a clone army, but imagine if Palpatine had been building another clone army behind the scenes in general anyway,
yeah, because
it would have just worked out cool.
Palpatine obviously loves cloning, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm that's probably what they were.
It's like when he rocks up to work on Monday, they're like, "Oh, what did you do on the weekend, Sheev?" And he's like, "Oh, I went out cloning again.
I cloned my dog. Now
I cloned 5 clone dogs.
Oh yes, I cloned my clones, so now I have more clones.
Now I need to go and buy a new pooper scooper because now I have 5 dogs. They just poop everywhere." Got a snake catcher out. Only toy box I have is Boba with the Slave 1. Nice.
Oh, I forgot they did that one. I've got the Boba, but not the Slave 1. It kind of
wish I had I wish I had the Boba for my Boba shelf.
It's a pretty cool one. The legs are kind of flippy floopy though.
I got the Galaxy of Adventures one recently, and that's a cool figure.
Isn't it so weird? That was a line made for kids, right? And the last wave with Boba and Maul and Ahsoka and the clone, online exclusive. What?
Exclusive toy line for children.
Yeah. It's like they never made it to stores. I had to spend like $20 to get the Clone Trooper.
Oh wow!
And it's like,
I really want that. I really want that Ahsoka. I still want to get the Jedi Luke that I know that's like sitting in Walmarts because it was a Walmart exclusive and it's still sitting there on clearance. I see people's toy runs and they're like, they've got the Galaxy of Adventures Lukes just hanging there. I'm like, oh, what I'd give to pick one of those up.
Yeah, I know. I do remember seeing those when they came out, but all my Walmarts, they've been long gone. Yeah, it's kind of... I think it depends on the area for a lot of those exclusives, if they sit around or if they're just gone like that.
If Hasbro would ever lose the rights for Star Wars, would you buy them from another company the same way if they would continue in the same scale? I think I would. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to stop my collection if they were similar enough in sort of style, but if they decided to go like, say McFarlane picked it up and they're like, oh, we're going to do Star Wars figures, but they're going to be 7 inches, I'd go, oh, maybe. But I also said that back when Hasbro announced Black Series, we're going to do 6-inch scale. I'm like, yep, not touching them with a 10-foot pole. And now I've got like 2 bookshelves with like 200 Black Series figures in it. Yeah,
see, I don't know if I would buy some for sure, but I wouldn't want to do the thing where, like, the main reason I quit Black Series was because I was just feeling like I was buying the same thing I already had, just a couple inches taller. Like, I wasn't...
That's fair, yeah.
Like, I didn't... Because I love the world building and all that, and I'm not, for Star Wars, I'm not like, I love this individual action figure. I love, like, having the smaller figures and putting them with all the other ones. That's what I love about Star Wars collecting. If they did a new 3 3/4-inch line from a different company, I wouldn't want to rebuy I wouldn't want to rebuy everything I already had.
Yeah.
Just from a different company. But I'd want to add on to what I already had. I'd want to get oh, that's a really good upgrade of that. I'd get that. But man, they couldn't get me to rebuy everything all over again.
Yeah, it'd be hard. See, I sometimes get frustrated when like Hasbro will drop like a Black Series version of a character and a 3 3/4-inch version of that same character within like 3 months. So I'm like, I literally just bought this character in a different scale like 3 months ago. But then I'm like, they release a Black Series figure. I'm like, why isn't this in 3 3/4-inch as well? And the same, like they'll put out a really cool 3 3/4-inch figure in the vintage collection. I'm like, I need this in Black Series. So it's like, I just end up getting frustrated and...
Yeah, and see, I had that struggle.
Then I need to sort of stop and take a step back and breathe and be like, they're just toys, dude.
Let me tell the brief story of someone who was able to escape Black Series. I feel like most people were incapable of escape.
Did you ever hear the story of someone who escaped the Black Series?
Let me tell you. So when it came out, I was really like, I pretty much got all the ones that were coming out because I'm like, oh, these are cool. These are new. I think they're great. And then I started because the 3 3/4-inch Black Series, the quality control was so poor that I didn't want to buy them. And I missed out on some stuff because they had these really horrible eye paints. They just didn't look that good. So I was going for the Black Series. And I was really liking it for a time. But I had a whole shelf full of everything they had made up to I think 2015 is when 2015, I think Rogue One is when I stopped getting absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Because my childhood with Star Wars, it was the 3 3/4-inch and the 12-inch.
Yeah.
That's where it resonates. That's where my happy place turns on. With the 6-inch, I was just looking at it and I was just like, I'm just buying these to buy them, man. It's I already have these just a couple inches shorter. And I was just looking at them and I was like, man, I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
And I got rid of most of them. I've got rid of even more recently. I got rid of a lot of Imperials that I already had in 3 3/4-inch. I still have a few Imperials that they don't have in 3 3/4-inch, like the Jet Trooper and that all red one that's really cool.
Yeah.
I still have a few. I've held on to some I really like. I still have... I'm still going for all the clones because clones are my thing. It's
funny because I love Black Series. I I can't get enough of the 6-inch figures like this Boba Fett here. It's incredible. Like I freaking love it.
And
but
see, I messed with my brother.
I honestly think I would trade in every single 6-inch figure I have for 3 3/4-inch versions any day of the week.
Yeah, that Boba's really good. I messed with my brothers, and it's just a really nice figure. But I was messing with it, and I'm like, man, I'm just not feeling it. It's like it doesn't trigger my happy place. Like the original VOTC 12-inch Boba Fett, I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh. I look at the original like 3 3/4-inch Return of the Jedi Boba Fett they did like back in 2006. Oh my gosh. But the 6-inch one, I'm like, that is objectively a nice figure, but I'm just not about it.
Have you got the new Return of the Jedi Fett and TVC yet?
No, I'm still waiting for my pre-order on that one.
Because that's a damn nice figure. That is a damn nice figure.
I cannot wait for that. I'm probably going to have to end up with a couple of it. I'm going to try to get one of the old one and one of like the revised one. I'm hoping.
Hopefully I can track down the revised one at some point.
Yeah. But with Black Series, man, I've still got my clones. I did keep the core hero cast from A New Hope. I'm so weird. Yeah. I actually like those old A New Hope 6-inch figures, like the Luke and the Leia. I didn't even upgrade my Leia. I still got the original release. I actually think that looks better. It's like I still got the core hero cast. I got the model kit R2D2 though, and it's missing a couple of the head panels because they just don't stay on. I hope I can find them someday. I kept like the main Imperials, like the main trooper types, and then Tarkin, Emperor, and Vader. That A New Hope Vader is just golden. And I've got some Imperial troops, but overall, like one weird one though that I have is the Island Journey Rey. I just love that one. It's just so good. I don't know why.
That's up there. That's up there with one of my favorites. And the best thing I did with that is with the SH Figure Arts version of Last Jedi Rey, so in a sort of blue outfit, she came with the bag that Island Journey Rey wears at the end of Force Awakens.
Oh yeah.
So the Black Series figure with the SH Figure Arts little bag, like satchel she has, absolutely perfect. Like it just finishes that figure off really nicely.
Yeah, and I mean that figure already is really good. It's crazy how cheap she is. You can get her for like $8 in the US.
Yeah.
Like no one wants her. Like my brother basically gave me one because he buys and sells figures sometimes. And he had one spare and he's just like, here, just have it. It's not really worth anything. It's not even worth selling, man. I barely make any money back after shipping. And I'm like, okay, thanks. It's good though. It's good.
Just jumping back to a question here. If Hasbro lost the license, who would you like to see pick it up? 1,000 Ghost says Playmates.
Playmates would be interesting.
Ed 5 says not NECA. I agree with that 100%. What does he say? Playmates makes TMNT, Simpsons, and Star Trek, but they make playsets and love to make tons of figures.
They've been sleeping on TMNT lately, though. Ever since they, like after the rise of the TMNT cartoon, like there's no TMNT in stores right now.
Yeah.
I think one company that's really gone from rags to riches is Jazzwares. I remember when Jazzwares, they do the Fortnite stuff.
Right,
and
yeah. Okay.
I have a couple of their 6-inch and like 10 of their 3 3/4-inch.
See, I don't care. I don't know anything about Fortnite. I don't care for it at all. But I've looked at their figures in the store. I'm like, there's some pretty cool looking action figures, and like, I sometimes just get sucked into something just because it's a cool looking action figure. Like
that's
I recently bought a NECA King Kong, and I don't really have that much of an emotion. I really don't have much of a connection with King Kong. I like the movies, but it's just like, it's just a cool looking figure, man. Like I just got it and was like posing it up and just messing with it. And then I recently bought a few Dragon Ball Z figures. I had a little bit of a couple of like whim purchases, and I'm like, I'm gonna get some Dragon Ball Z figures. And I was just like, yeah, these are pretty cool. But
yeah, like I've got those McFarlane Warhammer 40K guys. I've got the red one and the blue one. I know nothing about Warhammer, but they're armored space soldier men that are colorful, right down my alley.
Yeah.
But I think Jazzwares would be really good because I'm the same with Fortnite. Like I've never played the game. I don't care. Basically, they're just skins from the game. There's no story or anything attached to it. They're just cool designs. And the figures, man, I remember when Jazzwares was around, like I'd say about 10 years ago, their figures were horrible. They broke all the time. They were lathered in paint. They looked atrocious. But now they're really good.
Yeah.
I think Jazzwares could probably handle the Star Wars license pretty well. I think so. And they've proven themselves with both 6-inch and 4-inch.
I feel like McFarlane could do a reasonably good job of like a bigger scale Black Series 6-inch figure, because what they've done since, I collected Walking Dead figures when they were out, like the 5-inch ones, and I felt a lot of them broke easily and the plastic was quite stiff and the joints some of the joints were really ugly. But what they've done with the DC Multiverse line at the moment is just awesome. Like I've grabbed a few of the Batman figures from McFarlane, and they're fantastic looking figures. They're designed well, they move well, the plastic's not as tough and gummy as it used to be. I feel like the hands are still really, really tight, but they don't feel like you're going to break them when you try and separate like the fingers and thumb to try and get a weapon in there or something.
Yeah, that's another company that's really gone from rags to riches, because I think they did do 7-inch originally, and then someone from McFarlane splintered off and made NECA, and Todd, I think, got a little salty about that and changed his scale to 5-inch.
Yeah,
because NECA was doing 7-inch, and then I think Todd realized the 5-inch wasn't really working out because they were pretty crummy, and now they're just so great. I cannot imagine what aliens sculpted and made from McFarlane would look like from Star Wars. Those would be remarkable.
Just I bought I recently got I've got 3 of the Batman figures from McFarlane. The most recent one was the death metal Batman. He's got like spikes and he's got a big scythe, and some of the details on that figure are just amazing. Like it's so cool. Like it's just what McFarlane have done with the DC license is just, they're nailing it at the moment. I won't collect them, but I'll grab the odd character here and there that I like. But yeah, for DC collectors, they'd be very, very happy with what McFarlane are doing at the moment.
I need to make a video request from you. You did a Star Wars collection tour recently. I want to see your collection of stuff that's not Star Wars, because I know you've got like some Walking Dead stuff and Marvel and like other stuff. I'd love to see your other stuff.
Well, my Walking Dead stuff I've sold off. All my Marvel stuff I've sold off.
No,
I still have a few Marvel figures. Like I've recently got the deluxe Thanos that came out, Marvel Legends.
That's a good one.
That's a cool figure. And I've kept a few like Marvel Legends figures, but I've stored them away. But I do have like a little cupboard over there behind me where I've got one shelf for like extra figures, like just random figures. Like I've got the Deadpool figures from the movie. Like I've collected those.
I'd still love to see a video of all that though.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the articulated icon samurai figures. Like they're really cool as well.
Oh yeah, I've got one of the ninjas. Those are sweet.
Yeah, I got the 3 different samurai figures. They were going really cheap about a year ago, and I just thought, they look sick. So I grabbed them. Yeah, I might have to put together a video of non-Star Wars figures that I've got in my collection, just sort of show that I do collect the odd thing every now and then. But I'm doing my best to really, really focus on Star Wars. Try to anyway. But it's just every now and then, like most of us, like we love action figures as an art form. Like, Star Wars is pretty much our bread and butter, but you look at other action figures, like it's a cool looking figure. Like I really like the look of that character. I no emotional ties to the property or anything, but cool looking toys. Like I appreciate all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like there was a guy from Fortnite. His name's Cyclo. He is so cool looking. When I saw him in the store shelves, I almost felt like a kid again, seeing like the super cool looking character. Like, oh my gosh, I need that. He's got like a clear arm. He's got like Tesla coil things on him. He's got like Tesla rods. He's sweet. And like sometimes you just got to go for the stuff that just looks cool, man. Oh, I see G.I. Joe Classified. I instantly put my head in my hands.
Yeah, I'd never grew up with G.I. Joe. Like, it just wasn't a thing in my childhood. So I've got no sort of ties at all to that. Some of the figures look cool, but I don't need them. So I don't really care for it. It's not my thing at all. Like, I didn't grow up on G.I. Joe. I've got no ties to it. So I'm not really interested in them at all.
Man, I don't know what breaks my heart more, how Hasbro handles Star Wars now, or how Hasbro handles G.I. Joe. Because
that's the funny thing. Like I was saying earlier, with Transformers being a Hasbro product and Star Wars isn't, but G.I. Joe is also a Hasbro made product, but they're sucking at what they're putting out for the collectors at the moment.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the only thing as a kid that trumped Star Wars for me was G.I. Joe. I loved G.I. Joe. Had hundreds of them. Tons of vehicles, tons of, soldiers, tons of, Crimson Guards and Cobra Bats and all that. And I really wish that G.I. Joe would come back as basically the reason why it died off and the reason why it is how it is because an exec at Hasbro deemed that G.I. Joe was no longer an evergreen brand. It needs a movie. It needs media to tie into to be out in retail.
Yeah, right.
And the Snake Eyes movie was going to come out in the fall when Classified started off. And that movie got pushed back. So they're just kind of trickling out what they already made. And they're not doing a big old retail push.
Okay.
That's probably why. Because, dude, it could sell. Like, these things are flying off the shelves. There are no peg warmers for G.I. Joe. Everything sells.
Yeah, right. So there was a toy line. There was a toy line I had as a kid, and they were almost like a cheap knockoff version of G.I. Joes here in Australia. They were called like Corpse, like CORPS.
Oh yeah, the Core. That's been around for ages.
The Core, yeah. So they were like $2 or $3 figures, and they had vehicles that were cheap. And me and my buddy used to collect them a lot, and we had boxes of the things, and they were cheap. They were built like G.I. Joes, like they had the little rubber band in the waist and the little like metal joints at the knees and elbows and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, G.I. Joe was just never a thing. Like, it was weird, but I don't know. I must have just missed the boat. Like, I was born in '87, so I don't know. The fact that I'm in Australia, like, I don't know, G.I. Joe's like a bigger thing in the States. Like, probably more so the case.
There's always stuff that like people miss the boat out on. Like, I missed the boat on Dragon Ball Z. Like, that's the most popular anime ever, and like, I know nothing about it. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, Dragon Ball's so good." And it's like one of those things. It's so goofy. If you didn't grow up with it, I'm not sure if you can get into it as an adult. Because almost everyone grew up with it. But you don't have to be into everything. There's some people that are like, "Why don't you like this?" It's like, dude, there's so much out there. You can't be a fan of everything.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Have you watched Invincible? I have. I've watched probably the first 4 episodes. So I'm hoping to catch up with that on the weekend too. I'm enjoying that. That's a good show.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I might check that out.
Yeah, Usual Nike knows what I'm talking about. Remember, there was a guy called like Boomerang Billy, and there was... I can't even remember, like Large Sarge or something like that. And there was just like some weird ones. There was like a dude with a mohawk. Like,
and see, it's so funny that you guys love the Core, because in the US, the Core is seen as like that crappy G.I. Joe knockoff that no one likes.
Yeah, they were made by a company called Leonard. And
yeah, they're still around.
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah,
they're Walmart exclusive
recently. Yeah, right. Okay. So we haven't seen them down here for years, or at least I haven't. But I haven't really paid attention. But I'm sure there's something out there like that.
Yeah, someone in the P.O. box sent me some of the newer Core figures, and they're pretty good. They're definitely not. They are definitely cheaper figures, but they're still pretty good, especially for only still being like $3.
There we go. Tony Tanner, Large Sarge, Commander Fox.
Oh no! Why are we talking about Commander Fox?
The original Commander Fox.
Oh, because man, the whole Commander Fox thing, where people hate him because he shot 5s, like that is one of the things that triggers me so bad, because it's like, dude, it's like, do you not know anything about actual law enforcement, actual policing? Like, he couldn't have tased him. He couldn't have stunned him. That's not how it works.
1000 Go says, I was at Walmart yesterday and saw the paperwork for the new toy setup. The Snake Eyes movie has no spots on shelves, but G.I. Joe classified as 2 rows. Yeah, right. It's funny, I was walking into my local Kmart, because Kmart's still big here in Australia. Like, but they've got a toy, so they've got a pretty, I'd try and refrain from saying decent, because it's not. But they do have a toy section, and there's just 0 Star Wars there now. 0, just nothing. There's not even peg warmer, no semblance of anything. There isn't even an empty spot there anymore. So I've just stopped going there. Like, they've still got a bit of Lego, but even then, that's just the whole COVID thing stopped Lego from producing as much as they were before as well. So it's a bit strange, but yeah, it's depressing. I don't even check their toy section anymore.
Yeah, Kmart's. I work in the same building my old childhood Kmart was at. It's crazy how some stores just fall by the wayside. We've got a store in the U.S. called Meijer, and their Star Wars section's pretty similar. They either have nothing, or maybe they have like some super old Black Series. They still have Resistance figures sitting there. They still got Last Jedi stuff. Man, it's like a time capsule of crap.
Yeah. Darth Vader killed Commander Fox in the comics. Finally, Fives may rest in peace.
We'll see. I'm not going to get into it. I need to make a video about Commander Fox because it triggers me so much.
You should call him Commander Jerk.
Well, he is a jerk, but it doesn't matter. He was doing his job, man. He was doing his job.
Good soldiers follow orders, but they also go and get their chips pulled out when they find out they've got a chip in their head.
Yeah, because see, if you put it in like real world perspective, like
except Jesse, except Jesse, I'll let him off because he's a good dude. He's my favorite clone.
Yeah, I loved how they made Jesse like the antagonist of Order 66, especially since he had the big old Republic symbol. I thought that was so cool. But like, imagine a Navy SEAL, like a covert ops guy, has captured a military general and a captain, holding him hostage. And he, like, this guy is super lethal and well trained. And he points a gun at you after you tell him to stand down. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, either kill or be killed. That's a simple law enforcement situation.
I think that's why, like, the Clone Wars ending, like that Order 66, that's so heartbreaking, is because, like, that, like, Jesse and all of his clones, all of his forces are just, they're following orders. They're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Because they were under the impression that like a lot of people with Order 66, they feel like, I guess we're talking about the clones finally.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
We'll chat some clones for a minute, and then we'll wrap up because it's
only
been a couple of hours.
Almost 2 hours. Wow, I didn't.
Yeah, man, it flew, didn't it?
So with Order 66, a lot of people feel like when the chip turned on, the clones turned evil, and they're like, "We got to kill the Jedi because we got to, But actually, what it was, the clones were just as deceived as everyone else. Order 66 said the Jedi have betrayed the Republic; they must be executed. And that came from the highest authority. So they not only were 100% inclined to believe that, because a lot of people feel like the chip thing is something new, but in Attack of the Clones, they established that the clones are programmed to follow orders. Like, the clones have been programmed since Attack of the Clones. And they got that order, and they're like, the Jedi have betrayed us, The only reason that Rex was the only one that resisted was because of Fives. That is the only reason. Yeah, it wasn't because Rex was a good guy, because he would have totally fallen for it if it wasn't for Fives being super suspicious. Because Rex was the only clone that knew about all that. So that's the only reason why he resisted. But everything else, it's like the Jedi have betrayed us. We gotta take them out. But little did they know that they weren't the ones that were the traitors.
Yeah,
Palpatine.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just more pawns in his game, really. Like,
yeah, and another really brilliant thing that I kind of realized about Order 66 is after all the Jedi are defeated, the Separatists also get wiped out by Anakin, and the droids get all shut down. That also kind of tells the galaxy, like, the Jedi were behind it. Now that the Jedi are gone, the Separatists are gone. Like, and I'm sure the clones believed that. I'm sure the public believed that.
Yeah,
Like, it was just how George Lucas set up the whole Order 66 plan was ingenious.
Yeah.
It was so well executed.
It's what I'm really hoping to sort of see from something in the future, whether it's we touch on it in the Andor series, because we know that Cassian was, he was part of a separatist family, like on his wherever he's from. But I'd love to sort of see more from that sort of public perception of what happened there with the events that sort of ensued with the destruction of the Jedi. Like, I'd love to sort of just get down into the depths and, just the public perception, basically, like, just watch general members of the public go, oh, these people were meant to be heroes and they've, they've turned, this isn't good. I'd love to sort of see different angles from the public. Like
I can't believe the Jedi were behind it the whole time. It's like,
like modern day politics. You've always got members of the public on opposing sides. Like, it's, with different opinions. So I'd love to sort of see that a little bit more.
Oh yeah. I feel like maybe someday we will. We might with the Andor. I'm excited for the Andor series. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, me neither. I'm quite happy to walk into that one sort of very open-minded and not knowing anything.
Yeah, and what else is coming out for those series? I know Obi-Wan's coming out soon. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, there's the Ahsoka one too. Man, they're doing so much, even for Marvel too. I guess it's like the future now. I think the shows are going to be kind of the future, because I guess there's a lot of money in the streaming services. So
absolutely, yeah. And George saw this 10 years ago.
Yeah, and now, George knew now everyone's picking up on it.
Yeah, George knew that everything was going to get TV, like everything was going to go to TV years ago. He just couldn't afford it then. Now they can. That's what I loved about George. Like, he was always years ahead of the technology.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, even rewatching The Phantom Menace, because I know you've been on a Phantom Menace kick recently.
I have, yeah.
A lot of that CGI still holds up. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
There's like one scene that, like, I think it's always appeared clunky, and it's like when the tanks start rolling out over the grassy hills.
Oh yeah, that one's been a little weird.
Like, that looks a little bit weird, but in terms of everything else, I think it's fine. Like, I don't think there's any issues there at all.
I always thought the battle droids looked really realistic.
Yeah, they do. They still do. I think they're fantastic.
Revenge of the Sith, though, that CGI is something else. Like, they made all the clones CGI, so everyone had... Like, a lot of people were like, why'd they make them CGI? It was so everyone had the exact same movements, the exact same body size, because they're clones.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That the armor is just so detailed and so realistic looking. And General Grievous, remember that close-up shot of his eyes? Oh my goodness.
That's the best bit. Yeah, it's amazing.
The CGI is remarkable. And all the little details in CGI too, like when Grievous is popping out all of his arms, how the battle droid in the back nudges his buddy, like, look at this. And then the clone that punches a battle droid on Utapau too. I love that.
Yeah. I love that little battle droids behind there. He's like, hey, look at this. This guy's got 4 arms.
I never noticed that until just a few years ago, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's like you watch it and then you notice these new details. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. A buddy of mine pointed out to me like a year ago that when Anakin lands on Mustafar at the end of Revenge of the Sith and he tells R2 to stay with the ship, he's not wearing his glove on his electric hand. He's just got 2 skin hands.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's not wearing his glove. Like, he's got his full, like, arm glove. He's not wearing it. So when he goes to, like, pull his hood up and he says R2 stay with the ship, he's not wearing his glove and you just see his fleshy hand.
Oh, that is weird. I'm surprised that slipped by. I'm surprised they haven't fixed that either. The guy in the Mandalorian, the jeans guy. Oh my gosh. How did that get through?
They had someone pop up in Falcon and Winter Soldier a couple of weeks ago as well. I don't know if
they did?
Yeah, so same sort of thing happened. It was in you've obviously been watching it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. So I think it was the scene in the warehouse where Bucky was trying to tell Sam that they should bust Zemo out of prison. He's like, oh, basically I've already done it. So it was somewhere in the background there. I haven't gone back to try and find it, but it was somewhere in that scene that there's just like an extra standing in the background, like a crew member.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, "Oh, Gene's guy's back."
I don't know how they can. I don't know how they. It's like you'd think they would study the stuff frame by frame.
Yeah,
before
you
they
think
release
so.
it.
You just gotta wonder how quickly, like, are they literally just sort of skimming through some of this footage beforehand?
They might be. Because I mean, I know when I edit videos, I kind of skim through the footage sometimes. Sometimes I miss where I take a pause and all that. But
Yeah, I'm the
like,
same.
It's like I am. I'm just a little YouTuber. I'm not a big corporation releasing multi-million-dollar episodes.
I just sometimes I'll be filming a video and I'll just be like, I'll mess up saying something and I'll just stop and I'll swear or something like that. And I'm like, I really hope I don't include that in my videos one day. I'm sure I have. Like, I'm sure I've done it where but I sort of try and make an effort to sort of pause so that when I'm looking back at editing, I can sort of see in the audio clip there's a pause there. I'm like, all right, so I need to check that out and see what happened. Why did I pause?
Yeah, that's what I try to do too. But sometimes I miss it where I start saying something and then I stutter or I mumble or something, and I pause and then I start saying it again. And there's been a couple times I've left that in, and I'm so embarrassed every time I do because it's horrible.
1000th Ghost. I didn't know until a couple of years ago that Dengar was at Jabba's in Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah. Then I think Bosk was Bosk in the sail barge, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You're right. Anakin has both flesh hands, and I didn't notice that. Hey, Brandon, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Well, it's been 2 hours, so I reckon I might start wrapping it up. I could probably talk for much longer, but it's 11 o'clock at night, and
oh yeah,
I'm sure you want to go. I'm sure you want to go back to bed for a little bit before you got to go to work. So,
man, you know what? I'm kind of awake now. I might just eat some breakfast.
Do it.
I might just stay up. Do it.
But man, now that we've got this happening, we'll definitely do it again soon.
Oh yeah, this was super fun, man. I loved it.
I'm sure people would like to hear us talk about clones even more and the philosophies of the Clone Wars and all that sort of stuff. Because I have a blast. I have an absolute blast talking about it. So.
Oh yeah, me too.
But yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll do it again. That'll be fun.
Oh, for sure. Oh man, this was a ride. We talked about the sequels more than I expected, but come on, man, it's Star Wars. You always talk about the sequels when you're talking about Star Wars.
Absolutely. But yeah, thanks everyone in the comments for tuning in. Everyone in the chat, appreciate it.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this epic conversation.
I apologize for not getting to everyone's comments. I know there was a couple of questions up there I missed. I do try to get them, but sometimes it's getting to the point where it's getting really, really popular. So it's sort of flooding the comments, and it's hard to keep up with. So
it's tough.
It's good. But it's good. I love it. But it's I don't get to your questions, like hold on to it, drop it in the comments next week, and you can even find me on social media and stuff. You can drop questions.
Yeah, and if you have questions for me, you can always message me on Instagram. I always get back to everybody.
Yeah. So I'm sure most people are subscribed to you anyway, because your channel's just exploded over the last few years.
Dude, I don't know how. I don't know why. I feel like 1,000 subscriber channel that somehow has 30. I just roll with it, man. Yeah,
that's all you can do. But if anyone in the chat hasn't subscribed, go and subscribe anyway. JCC2224. Make sure you get the right amount of twos, because I didn't when I put together the thumbnail. So I will fix that later on.
Yeah, it's Commander Cody's unit number with a J in front, because when I was a kid, I gave Commander Cody a lightsaber and I called him a Jedi. So that's
nice.
That's where that comes from.
Jedi Commander Cody.
Yep, Jedi Clone Commander Cody. That's
nice.
That's me.
That's cool. I always wondered about the J, but there you go.
Yep, that's what it stands for.
I never even thought to ask, but there you go.
That's
awesome.
What it was.
All right, folks, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for next week. Hopefully we'll have some more videos coming up in the next few days. I haven't been pumping out the content as much as I would like to, but I'm trying. But yeah, just adjusting to the new job and everything. But yeah, thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time on Star Wars Weekly live chat. May the force be with
Arrivederci.
you. May the force be with you always.
Always.